Hello and welcome to the North Florida Blitz, our third edition. Here on Facebook, Twitter, and also on YouTube. We will cover all the headlines and games and aspects of high school football from Ocala to Gainesville to Jacksonville to Tallahassee to Pensacola. That is the North Florida Blitz. Marty Pallman, Joshua Wilson on FloridaHSFootball.com. And the next 30 minutes, we will have an interview with the head coach of the Newberry Panthers, Ed Johnson, as they
get
ready
indeed
for a huge game with the Williston Red Devils this weekend, this Friday, pardon me. Williston number 1 in Region 4 of 1R. Newberry's ranked 3rd. So we will talk to Coach Ed Johnson coming up around 9:55. And then later on, we'll have our pick 6. We'll pick 6 games from the North Florida area as we have been doing every week. But we like to start every week as well with breaking news, the Blitz Lines. These are our headlines from high school. I love that music. High school football around North Florida. And it starts, man, in Jacksonville. What a win for the Providence Stallions, a team that I don't even remember the last time they made the playoffs in football, or it's been a while, but they beat University Christian in Jacksonville last Friday, 17-14. Not only that, but Providence now vaults UC in the standings, and they're in Region 1 of Class 1M.
No, you're absolutely right, Marty, and that's a big thing right there. Is that it really just vaulted right there, and it's just huge when we talk about this and talk about these teams, and what has happened here. And University Christian, a team that was in the state semifinals last year, that beat Trinity Christian, for the first time in years. They got them in that regional final, and then played so close to with Clearwater Central Catholic, but now here you go in this situation. And now you got Providence saying, "Hey, we're here. Hello."
Yeah, it came out of, really out of nowhere. Yeah, and it was UC's one. They've won 8 state titles. UC has that program has been well known for many years, and that was a big surprise, really, in the Jacksonville area. Really, the biggest surprise I thought in North Florida this past Friday night. So Providence now with a real chance. And they got to play Trinity Christian still, but have a chance to win that district title because UC still has to play Trinity as well.
But the playoff power ranking, I'll tell you this: the playoff power ranking has them looking pretty good right now.
They're in 3rd, right?
Yeah, they absolutely that's the case. They are sitting there at 3rd in the region, and their power ranking 6.850 this week. Well, University Christian 3.338, and Trinity Christian winning, University Christian losing. That kind of flip flopped the 2-4 seeds there this weekend. If you saw that on the playoff breakdown show that we did, you would see that. And of course, all the stuff that from all the shows, and of course that we've had tonight, we'll break them up and stuff, and they're on youtube.com/FloridaHSFootball, and of course we'll post that stuff up on FloridaHSFootball.com over to tonight and tomorrow as well.
Yeah, every Tuesday night we will bring you the playoff breakdown show from 6 to 7. That'll be all the way until the announcement of the teams in the next first week in November, coming up next about a month from now. And we will have that 6 to 7. And then 7:30 to 8 o'clock is the South Florida Blitz, 8:15, 8:45. Central Florida, 9 to 9:30 is Gulf Coast. And, of course, this is the North Florida Blitz, which we bring you 9:45 to 10:15. And moving on to some of the headlines around the area, also in Jacksonville, Rains last play of the game runs in to beat Riverside. Riverside, by the way, already district champs. They clinched their district, in fact, a week before last. They're the first team in the playoffs, but Rains beats Riverside on the last play of the game.
No, absolutely. And of course, that's the big thing. These games come down to the wire, and that's a classic one right there that comes down to the wire. Of course, Riverside is like, oh man, we wanted that win against Range. Range is one of the top teams there in the region. Of course, Riverside's already in the playoffs. They just would like to build their resume to where they're in the top 4 and not have to potentially go on the road in the first round. It depends on everything like that. But I tell you what, this week, Riverside's going to have a tough test with Trinity Christian going there.
Another tough game. And that'll be one of our games we'll pick later as well. But Rains taking care of Riverside, and now Riverside having to play Trinity this week as well. Rains only lost to Mainland, and the Panhandle will go around as well. Escambia continues to rule the roost there in Pensacola, having another big year in Escambia County. the Gators.
No, you're absolutely right, and of course they're rolling the roost. But it's going to be. I think the biggest game is still yet to come. I think they still have to play Choctaw on the schedule. I want to double check that real quick here as we're talking. But Escambia, they're doing really well out there, and the thing, and but the team that was really dominant for the last couple of years is Pine Forest, and but yet they have taken a slide back. They're sitting there 7th in their region, which is that tells you that the things can change real quick in an instant out in the Panhandle.
Yeah, I mean 7th would be enough to get them in, but you're right. That's not exactly where they want to be. Is also last week in the Panhandle, you're going to look up Pensacola. Escambia playing Choctaw.
5-1 right now, and of course, they haven't played Choctaw yet. That comes not this week, but next week. So that'll be a big game. Most likely, that'll be probably on our pick 6 next week.
Yeah, Niceville defeats Crestview as well last week. The rivalry game. Niceville, despite that, dropped a spot in their region this week, but. Niceville getting it done as well. Leon was off this week in Tallahassee, so we don't get to talk about the undefeated Leon Lions, but they have a big game this Friday.
Yeah, Lincoln, Gene Cox, city rivalry there, and of course, and another big game that we're going to be talking about here with our guest on the interview with head coach Ed Johnson from Newberry as they match up with Williston coming up here this Friday night.
That's a huge game in 1 hour. Yep.
Yes, and which leads into the question here, by the way, real quick. Dustin's still undefeated, by the way, even though they're not in they're independent. They're E.G. Green out there. He's building a team, and I would say next year when they become eligible for state series.
There's a name.
But go ahead.
That's okay. I was going to say, and Bowles, we talked about them a few weeks ago. Bowles is 0-3. What's going on? Oh, yeah, they're 3-3 now. They won 3 in a row. And they just, all they did was beat Trinity Christian. And then they, last week they beat Episcopal. And they also beat Oakleaf in that span. This week they get Columbia, who, by the way, congratulations to Columbia. They get their first win. Unfortunately, it's against my alma mater, 36-0. They beat Orange Park. But Columbia, despite being 1-4, still a pretty good chance to win the district title. I guess that game of Middleburg might
next week.
Next week. First, Middleburg has Clay this week. So.
Yes, indeed, and all that. But this leads into my question that before we get to head coach Ed Johnson at Newberry here real quick. Is 1R still wide open in your opinion, and especially if I don't know necessarily maybe towards the Gainesville region in terms of things with 1R, but out in the more towards the Panhandle, it seems like it's more wide open this year in my opinion.
I think it's wide open in the Panhandle. If you were to ask me, and of course the problem is I don't see the Panhandle teams as much as I see the teams in this area, but right now I've got to say that the teams like in this area would be favored to win the state title. I believe you got the Hawthorne, your Williston, and your Newberry. I think in Union County, all 4 of those teams I think really are going to have something to say about that. But you're right, the Panhandle is pretty wide open. I think Bluntstown's starting to move up. They're leading Region 2 now, as well. Was it Holmes? Who's leading Region 1? Holmes County.
Holmes County.
Yeah, Holmes County's in there, so maybe a little bit of a surprise. But we are going to talk about Newberry and Williston, so let's go ahead and take.
We got a couple comments actually here, and it's in the thing, and of course, somebody
likes Newberry.
Yeah, yes, we got Newberry coming up here. Yeah, we'll think. Yes. What's a Panther? Always a Panther there from Jenny there, and then we got Jonathan Ferris.
Oh my gosh,
Jonathan Ferris, a longtime follower and fan. Would you say Providence's win over University of Christian is the biggest upside ever in high school football?
In like all of the United States, because I'm going to have to look at 50 states and research that because I don't know. It's a pretty big upset, but I mean, Providence isn't a bad team this year. They're 4-1 coming in, and I have no idea to answer that question. That's going to take a lot of research probably, but yeah, Jonathan, that is an interesting idea. G. McKenzie says, I like Newberry over Williston. All right, well, that's that'd be a big win for the Panthers, and no reason to think they can't do that. They are at home in this game, but. Are we all right here?
Yeah, we're fine. We're fine, right. And we're going to talk about a couple other things here, but we will kind of focus on that. We'll answer some of these questions here in terms of the games when we go to our pick 6. But Marty, we're going to have to take a water break here real quick, and then we'll get Coach.
Break. Yeah, we'll come back and we'll talk to Ed Johnson of the Newberry Panthers, head coach, when we return. As you are watching the North Florida Blitz. All right, welcome back to the North Florida Blitz. Marty Pallman along with Joshua Wilson of FloridaHSFootball.com. It's time for the interview that we do every week here at this point in the show. And happy tonight to be talking to the head coach of the Newberry Panthers, Coach Ed Johnson, the guy I've known for a long time. So, Coach Johnson, good to be with you. How you doing?
Doing well. Thank you guys for having me on.
Yeah, no problem, man. Appreciate it. We're just starting this up. They're like our third week of it, so I think you're one of the first coaches we've had on. So we appreciate you coming on with us this Tuesday. But man, I know this is a big week for you guys. I mean, this is a huge game, Williston. I know you would probably say that as well. But what is it about Williston that makes them so tough? How have they been able to play the way they have under Coach Pruitt? I mean, they haven't lost a regular season game now in the last 2 years.
Well, I think you said it. It starts at the top with Coach Pruitt. I mean, he's one of the best to ever do it. He has his guys well coached. They're prepared. They play hard, and they've been on a roll lately.
Yeah, your team's been on a roll too, though. I mean, since that Hawthorne game, it seems like y'all have been rolling teams. Are you pretty happy with the way the season's been going to this point?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay with how we're playing right now. You always want to play better. We learned a lot about ourselves week 2 against Hawthorne. We saw that we needed to do more, as a staff and as a team. It was probably the best thing for us going forward. So we needed it. And, we're going to stay healthy. Kids been still locked in and working hard. And, we got to get ready for Friday.
No, absolutely. And talk about some of your guys, Coach. I mean, you got a quarterback that is just really is, he's only a sophomore, I believe, and he has been really lighting up. I mean, just kind of give us the rundown because, hey, I know they say defense wins championships, but offense can also win championships too.
Yeah, defense definitely wins championship. I'm a defensive guy, but Kill's an athlete, man. He's a competitor. I love being around that kid every single day. You can see his progression from last year as a freshman to now. He can make plays when, the play breaks down. He's making really good decisions. As long as he takes care of the ball, we're going to be in a good spot.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, you're pretty much a team. You like to run the ball, I know, right? How about you? I know your freshman running back last year is really playing well. How's he doing this year?
Doing great. Caleb, he's a sophomore now. He's his work ethic is starting to catch up with his talent right now, and that's a scary thing for opposing defenses. But kid can do it all. He's big, he's strong, he's physical. He has vision. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. It's good to have that workhorse in the backfield that you can depend on. He's going to get 4 or 5 yards, every time he touches it.
No, absolutely. And Coach, when we talk about rural football, I mean, I know Newberry, things are kind of changing out there in terms of the landscape, but I know, but y'all are still part of that the rural classification for now. So, what makes rural football so special, especially when you got you're again playing Williston this week, Hawthorne a few weeks ago, but you got some of the other guys that are going to be on that schedule. What makes rural football special for especially in a place like Newberry?
It's the community. I think the community buy-in is great in all those places. Newberry, Williston, Hawthorne. Fans are going to load up. They're going to show up to watch those guys on Friday nights, and they're all about it. Like the city really shuts down on Friday nights. I know it'll be packed here Friday night, and kids are just playing for the people around them, the people they see every single day. Something they can depend on.
No, absolutely.
Tell you one thing though, I've been out there lately, and it's becoming like a big city. They're building all the time in Newberry. It is something all the time going on there. It seems like, and but still, you're right. It does have that the smaller town feel as well. But Coach, this 1R classification, we've asked you about this before, or I know I have. But I mean, when you look at it, it seems like the toughest path to win a state title basically comes through this area. I mean, between Williston and Hawthorne and Union County and I think there's about 5-6 teams, Fort White, and you guys that probably have a chance to win a state title.
Yeah, 1R football, especially in this area, is very, very competitive. I think that the top 3 teams in the state right now are in our region. So, it's very, very competitive. It's really, really good football. We have low student enrollment numbers, but there's a bunch of talent, on those football fields on Friday night. So it's very, very tough. As you see, Hawthorne has been dominating the last few years. Everything has to go through Hawthorne right now.
No, absolutely. And I mean, if there's anything that you think, what would, if for anybody that's looking for a key to way to, how to crack the code against Hawthorne, what is it? Does anybody know what to crack the code yet on that one?
Nobody's figured it out recently. No. If they do, they need to let me know.
No, absolutely. And of course, Coach, not only you got the home game against Williston this week, but you got a couple some other interesting games. You got Eastside the next week, which that'll be a big game right there. You go to play at Citizens Field, and Eastside's been doing really well. Marty has seen in the test.
I mean, you beat them last year, 14-7 at home, right? That was a big win at home. Yeah,
big win for us. Very, very competitive. Coach Gator's doing a great job with that program. They're going to have some athletes. They're going to have some big guys up front, and they're going to play hard. So, we'll get to that one next week when we take care of Williston on Friday night.
Well, I got some fans who are texting us who believe that's going to happen as well. But I mean, it'd be a big one for you guys. Well, it's funny, Coach. I was talking about this the other night on one of our broadcasts. Every public school in Alachua County now their football team is being coached by a alumnus of the school. I mean, it's kind of amazing, really. Now that Ian Scott's at GHS and Gators at Eastside and Joe Szymanski at Santa Fe, every public school with CI at Hawthorne is now, with Willie Jackson, PK Young, I keep thinking of another one, is being coached by someone who went to school there. It's pretty cool, isn't it?
It is, because each and every one of those coaches are personally invested in that program. They wore that uniform. They played on those fields. It's something different when, you've been there, you've done that, and you kind of want to take that pride in, making sure your program is run well.
When I first met you, you were the basketball coach. You miss coaching basketball ever?
I do. I love basketball. But Coach Pat's doing a great job with this program.
Yeah.
But maybe one day.
Yeah, they've had a couple of really good seasons there with Coach. Well, all right, Coach Johnson, I'm glad you come on with us for a few minutes. And Josh is
no, absolutely. Yeah. I know this is a fun one, and always to get to go ahead to talk to some Newberry Panther football right here in Alachua County, right in my own backyard. And best of luck this week against Williston. I know that's going to be a huge game. I know the stadium's going to be packed, and the community is going to be rallying around the Panthers.
Oh yeah, the Den will definitely be jumping on Friday night. We're looking forward to it. We got a couple more days of preparation, and we'll lay it all on the line for 48 minutes.
Yeah, fun place to go to a game. Great atmosphere in Newberry. All right, Coach, good to talk to you, and good luck on Friday, and good luck the rest of the season. We'll talk to you down the line, I'm sure.
All right, thank you guys. Thank you for everything y'all do for high school football here in Florida. We appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Yeah, appreciate it. That is Coach Ed Johnson of the Newberry Panthers as they get ready to play Williston this Friday. Williston ranked number 1 in Region 4 right now, a little bit ahead of Hawthorne. Newberry's number 3, and Newberry only one loss this year so far. That was to Hawthorne. Williston is unbeaten, so that's a big game on Friday night coming up in Western Alachua County. So, all right. Well, now it's time to take a look at the top 25, Joshua Wilson's top 25, FloridaHSFootball.com, and see if we got some teams from North Florida in the rankings this week.
St. Augustine sitting there at 15, Buchholz at 16. Not that Bradford going to be entering 21 this week. So Bradford finally getting some love there in the top 25. Those Bradford Tornadoes, they're looking mighty good, and that's where we're sitting at right there.
Boy, St. Augustine ahead of Buchholz, huh? Well, I mean, I think at this point you could probably go either way with that. St. Augustine, Buchholz, I think that's pretty close. And Bradford, absolutely.
Hawthorne's another team, not in the top 25 here, but I mean they're very close. I mean, it's harder with the rural schools to put them in top 25. But Hawthorne,
I think Hawthorne or Williston right now could be too.
My question is that when it comes to when we're talking about like the likes of Hawthorne and Williston, looking at the remaining schedule, Hawthorne's got to go down to St. Pete this week to play a really not so good Gibbs team right now. But looking at the rest of the schedule here for Hawthorne, to be honest with you, looking at that rest of that remaining schedule here, the best win so far is, South Sumter. But, hey, next week they've got Union County and then North Marion and then, of course, the Keelan's Angels of Christian Academy. I mean, that's the best game that's remaining on the schedule here for Hawthorne at Union County.
Yeah.
And when we take a look at Williston, with their remaining schedule here, I think it's a little different here in terms of obviously Newberry this week. They got Hudson, who is really good. I believe Hudson, I think Hudson's lost a game yet. Yeah. And then, of course, Williston also is going to play North Marion here. So there's a common thread here, opponent between Hawthorne and Williston is North Marion. So we'll see there, and then Citrus. So, in terms of the quality games, Williston's got 2 here. Hawthorne, in my mind, has only got 1 left.
Yeah, I think you're right. Williston is trying to think of their schedule to this point. I mean, they beat Fort White, who was undefeated, beat them handily. They really haven't had a lot of trouble at all in some of those games. But, yeah, this will be probably definitely Williston's toughest game to this point of the season with Newberry coming up on Friday. Oh. All right, there it is. There's the music. That means it's time for the Pick 6. As we pick 6 games around the North Florida area, we will start here in Week 7 with that game we were just talking about, Williston and Newberry.
Yes, indeed. And, I'm gonna do this because I think this. If there's one game that I think Williston falls into a trap here, this is it. This is. I think the Newberry community is going to be out loud on this one. I know Williston, they're going to make that short trip up 120, up 27. But I'm gonna fly with Newberry on this one tonight.
Yeah, I really should have thought about this before now. I mean, I knew the game was coming up, but man, now that I have to pick it, and obviously I know Coach Johnson really well, and I know both these coaches pretty well actually. But yeah, I could
it's okay, Marty. It's
okay. I could see Newberry winning this game at home. I definitely could see it, but I think Williston's going to win this game. I would pick Williston to win. And
all right, we're different here.
There we go.
All right, here we go. A game that
I don't know if I should pick
should Marty really be picking on this one? If you want to comment in the chat here, let's see.
I want to pick a Kirk Herbstreit and not pick the game I'm broadcasting. But yeah, Bishop Kinney at Ponte Vedra, and honestly, Ponte Vedra is hot right now. I mean, they're a team, and they're in Class 4S. And I think they're second. They are behind Buchholz in Region 1. They've been playing really well since their opening week. Lost to Bartram Trail by 3. They won at Florida High. They beat Flagler Palmcoast last week. I think Ponte Vedra is going to win this game at home.
I think so too. I'm going with the Sharks here. Steve Price, the head coach there at Ponte Vedra. Yeah. I mean, he's got those Sharks rolling. I mean, and of course, if you look back on the schedule, you look at the teams that they have played so far. I mean, they steamrolled the Middleburg team 39-0 a few weeks ago. So there's that. I mean, if you can find a way to shut out some teams here, and then that's a sign of a really good team. But Bishop Kinney is a much better team here in this situation when it comes to being playing at Ponte Vedra. But
they're 4-1, yeah.
Playing at the Shark Tank though is difficult.
And it's only their second road game of the year, and their first road game they lost to Bishop Moore. They've already won 4 home games. So. And really, the toughest team they played at home to this point is Tocoi Creek. So, it hasn't been or First Coast. So, not the best schedule to start. I think this will be a game for Ponte Vedra to win. I agree with you, even though I got to go do the game. So don't anybody tell anybody that I said that.
Well, it's live broadcast, so they might see already. So too late, Marty.
True.
Too late.
Right. Never mind. Well, I guess that's what I get. And maybe they'll prove me wrong. Bowles at Columbia. Okay, so Bowles now has gotten to 3-3. Columbia is coming off their first win of the season. Both teams have played Trinity Christian. Bowles beat them. Columbia lost.
Marty, here's a coin for you.
No, I think I know. I like Bowles here. I'm not picking against Bowles again for a while. They're going to win this game, and I know it's in Lake City. Columbia's had some success, but Columbia is a team that just hasn't been able to find its footing. And it's not a district game, so it's not going to hurt the Tigers a whole lot if they lose. But I think Bowles wins.
But you know what? Here's my logical thing. Columbia needs a win on Friday night to go to Middleburg the next week to have some kind of momentum going into that game, knowing that game will seal their fate to either make the playoffs or miss the playoffs totally. I can't remember exactly when the last time Columbia missed the playoffs, but it's been a while.
Since before Brian Allen got there. I know that. So
maybe
2011 or 12, somewhere
there was a coach named help me here.
Well, Craig Howard was there.
Yes, they did miss the playoffs.
They missed the playoffs with him, who famously coached Tim Tebow at Nice.
So
Columbia, yeah.
So I got to be honest with you. Columbia doesn't win this game. I don't know if they're either gonna. Are they gonna go into the game next week at Middleburg being dejected, or could they be fired up because they lost the game to Bowles?
I think they're still gonna make the playoffs just because they're gonna win their district. Sorry to your Middleburg team, but yeah, I think Columbia's may go. That might be a Trinity Catholic where they go like 4-6 or 3-7 and win their district and go to the playoffs.
Backdoor themselves into the 8th seed right there.
That could be, but
all right. But you're going with Bowles, aren't you? And I'm going with Bowles too.
Okay, after all that. All right. Well, this is a good one. I like this game. Bradford at Oakleaf. The Bradford Tornadoes, who will be heading to Miami to play True North Classical. Is that next week?
Yes, next week.
First goes to Orange Park to play Oakleaf. Oakleaf started off 2-0, but they've lost the last 2 weeks, though. They lost to Bowles and Creekside. Nothing really against that. But this is an interesting game. You know, you got Oakleaf, a 4S school. Bradford's a 2S. But, I mean, Bradford. I think Bradford could almost shut out anybody they play. I like Bradford to win this game on the road.
You know, I like Bradford a lot, and this is where Oakleaf's got a good team. Chris Floyd there, in his first season there after being at Andrew Jackson the last couple of years. But you don't pick against Jamie Rogers' Bradford team. I can't tell you. This is hard on this one. It's hard to pick. I mean, now next week we're picking Bradford and True North. The question. I'd probably take Bradford in that one, but it's just a matter of leaving early from start, going down to Miami and playing a 3:30 kick.
That's a new one. Really,
that one's going to be a tough one, I think, in that situation. But in regards to this game here, Bradford or Oakleaf, I'm going with Bradford, and I believe you said Bradford too, Marty?
I'm taking Bradford, yep.
All right.
All right, another game in Jacksonville. This is a good one. Riverside coming off a tough loss to Rains in the last play of the game against Trinity Christian, who's coming off an overtime win over Rockledge. And, this isn't the typical Trinity Christian team. They've already lost a couple games, although they lost to American Heritage and Plantation and then Bowles. So it's not like there's anything wrong with that. But Riverside's been playing good football. The Rains game, came down to the last play. But I think Trinity will win this game at home.
Now, and that's the thing. If this game was at the backyard.
Yeah. Right.
I might take a Riverside, but I'm going Trinity here in this one as well. But the big thing about the Conquerors is they've had one of the largest senior class in like 30 years under Verlin Dormany. But it's like the loss to Bowles kind of shocked everybody. We were like everybody was picking Trinity to win that game.
It's a rivalry game. Well, Bowles was 0-3 going into that game.
Yeah,
right.
But Riverside, Riverside's already in the playoffs. This game's helps boost the strength of schedule regardless. So,
yeah, I agree. Well, who you got?
I'm going Trinity on that one.
Sorry. All right.
So, but
go ahead. Our last game.
Our last game. How about this?
Let's go to the state capital for this one.
Leon versus Lincoln. Leon 5-0. Lincoln, I believe, is 4-1. Yeah, Lincoln is 4-1.
Yeah, they.
So what do we do here?
Well. Okay, Leon's a great story. They are 5-0 is a great story. They haven't been that 5-0 since the 80s, mid 80s or something.
Like 1985, I think.
Yeah. But Lincoln is a team that's been there so many times, and they've been in these situations. They've won these games, and I'm going to take Lincoln to end Leon's undefeated season to this point. I think Lincoln comes back and gets a win against their city rival.
Yeah, it's city rival. It's not a district game, by the way. They used to be in the same district for many years at times, but I'm going Lincoln too. So it looks like in this situation we're 5. I think we're looking like we're the same on most games except for the first one with the Newberry Williston game.
Yeah, that's good. I figured that might be one that we look differently at. So.
We got some people in the chat. The chat box is loaded up tonight here, so let's just go with it here. And Jonathan Ferris asks, do you think Lincoln bounces back against Leon? They lost to Colquitt County, and I will say yes. Leon's as we said, Leon's a great story here, but I just think Lincoln is going to get the win here over the Lions. So there you go, Jonathan. Your Trojans will win over Leon this week. So I will say that.
Oh, he's a Lincoln guy. Okay.
Yes, he is a Lincoln alum.
Okay.
Gene McKenzie, he's like, I like Newberry over Williston.
Yeah.
So
does Josh. I'm sorry, I don't. But I mean, if Newberry wins, I will not be at all stunned if that happens. I think it's going to be a really good game.
Yeah. No. Madison County, that's a team that we didn't talk about much about this week, but they are number 3 in the Region 3 in the playoff ranking right now.
Next week they play Swanee. That'll be a big game. I can't remember who they're playing this week, but I know they have Swanee coming up at the Boot Hill. But yeah, Madison, and considering they lost 2 weeks due to the hurricane, they've won 3 in a row since losing their first game.
No, and absolutely. Let me pull it up here real quick who Madison County's got. Madison County is actually, they did lose to Florida High. That's their loss. So they are 3-1 here. They did beat Jefferson County here, but they're not playing. They don't have anybody this week, but they do have Swanee. So this is the remaining schedule for Madison County. Swanee, Oakleaf, Chiefland, Rickards.
Wow. Yeah, that's tough. But, they got a tough one coming up. We'll see how that goes. But, go ahead.
Chase Brooks.
Bradford Tornadoes. That's it. I agree. Bradford Tornadoes, yeah. Will win. And then
J.C. Denton.
Newberry beat a quality Calvary Christian team a few weeks ago. Turned heads in the state. Good job, Coach. Yeah, that was a good win against a pretty good team. And again, I think that I forgot about that, actually. But you're right. That was a really good victory. And again, the only loss being to Hawthorne doesn't really hurt anything.
Oh, you're right.
I'm starting to wonder if I should pick Newberry, but I'm going to stick with that.
All right. Gene McKenzie says the Tornadoes do look good. They have a great defense. That has been a thing, not been scored on much here. I mean, I think Middleburg and Keystone Heights has probably been about the only teams that have done it so far this season. I mean, there you go. I mean, otherwise, Bradford is doing the same thing they did last year, pitching shutouts, Marty.
Yeah, they're just really good. I mean, defensively, they've been just unbelievable the last 3 years with Jamie Rogers there. And also another comment here about Bradford. It says, I'm ready for Bradford and Oakleaf. Well, so are a lot of people.
And Gene McKenzie's like, he thinks Bradford's going to win.
Bradford will win. And now J.C. Denton says, Jacksonville Trinity Christian Academy is an excellent team, but those 2 losses could haunt them if they win the region, since the other regional champions can be undefeated and force Jack's TC into the 4th seed against in
the state semifinals.
That's
yes,
right. They do seed like that. So you're right. That would be they wouldn't play in the state championship game then. But I don't know. Those 2 losses seem like quality losses to me. American Heritage and Bowls. I mean, but we'll see. Right now they are the 2nd seed. They're behind Orlando Christian Prep.
Yes,
right?
they are.
That's right.
That is correct.
It's a long way to go on that.
And Jonathan Theris thinks Lincoln rolls, and he thinks also that Middleburg might actually have a chance to beat Clay.
Oh, Jonathan, you got to get Josh going here. All right. Well, of course, I think Middleburg has a chance to beat Clay, too. Clay is a lot better than they were, 4-1 this year. Middleburg beat them last year, though.
Yes, they did.
On the way to the playoffs. So, yeah, that'll be an interesting game. I wonder if Middleburg's looking ahead to Columbia next week, which will probably be for the district title, but they probably won't because Clay's a county rival.
The longest continuous rival there for
Clay County?
Yes.
Wow, really?
Indeed.
Wow.
It's been going on for a long time.
Because Orange Park never plays Clay. That's true. Because Orange Park and Clay are the 2 oldest schools in Clay County. But all right. Well, we appreciate everybody, watching and contributing in social media and with their comments as well. We're a little bit past our normal time. That's okay. It doesn't really matter at this point. So
it's the final show of the night.
It is the final show of the night. So we hope everyone enjoyed the North Florida Blitz. So if you enjoyed the other shows, if you watched as well, and also our playoff breakdown special earlier, we'll do it again next Tuesday, 6 to 7, the playoff breakdown show, and then the South Florida Blitz starting at 7:30, the Central Florida Blitz coming at 8:15, and then the Gulf Coast Blitz at 9. I'm trying to remember this on my head. North Florida Blitz at 9:45. There we go. Got it.
You got it, Marty.
All right. Appreciate you watching on Facebook, on Twitter, and on YouTube.
And for Marty Pallman, I'm Joshua Wilson. Keep it on tune, FloorHSFootball.com. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube.
Enjoy your week of football.
Yes, indeed. Absolutely.
All right. That's it. Good night.
Good night.